In the land where Twin Cities stand united, one team came together for an unforgettable run. An emotional, captivating journey that took them from worst to first.
And the Minnesota Twins have gone from the cellar to the penthouse.
It is here where memories of '91 will always be part of the landscape, and the legends and moments that made that year so special continue to echo.
He caught it, and it's gone. The Twins are going to win the World Series.
From the first game in the spring,
this is where I'm supposed to be,
to a Game 7 in the fall.
It's a 1-0 10-inning victory.
The streets still resonate with the sound of mind-numbing cheers from the Dome, our Dome, the year that it rocked like never before, the year our team brought home the trophy in what will forever be one of the greatest World Series ever played.
First of all, I'd like to have all the players to tip my hat to the fans. We got the greatest fans in the world. Thank you!
This is it, our story, your story, as Major League Baseball Productions presents Magic in Minnesota, remembering the 1991 World Series championship.
Hi, I'm Kent Hrbek.
And I'm Gene Larkin, and we're here to talk about the 1991 Minnesota Twins World Championship season.
Gino, we're going to look at some film clips from not only spring training of that year, but all the way to the end of the season when you've got a pretty important hit.
Yeah, it's been a long time, Ken. It's been a fun ride now, and about 25 pounds ago for you, maybe 20 for me, but I'm looking forward to it.
25 is lucky, but no, you know what? There's a bunch of memories on here that really are going to stir up some great memories for us. Hey, Gino, we're going to take a look at some clips now, starting from spring training, like we said, and I'm going to put my trusty glasses on. Since 20 years ago I could see, but now I can. So let's take a peek and see what's going on in spring training here.
We're all pretty excited. We want to forget about 1990. It was a miserable season for all of us, and get going in 91 in Fort Myers.
A few new additions on the team. Mike Pagliulo came in and played third base for us. Steve
Bedrock,
Rosen.
Absolutely.
Chili
Dog.
Yeah, we had a few guys that came in and
of course, all reliable Danny Gladden didn't get a haircut for spring training.
Never did, but a fire plug for us. And then Chuck Knobloch, his first season.
Had a nice little haircut right there, obviously.
And then that guy,
wow.
I can't remember who that guy is.
I said 25 pounds, about 50 pounds ago.
Payoff pitch. He struck out the side.
One of our biggest acquisitions was Jack Morris coming home, and Jack getting a little emotional here at the press conference.
I think every kid grows up to dream about this kind of moment.
Yeah, I was really happy. Obviously, Jack was a great pitcher. He was going to help us out. I just wanted to ask him a question. 2 years before that, he had beaten me in Detroit after we had lit him up for 5 or 6 runs.
Oh, Larkin down.
So I want to know what that was all about. But I was happy.
Did you ever find out?
Yeah, he just said he wanted to hit me, but didn't want to hit me in the head.
I used to hit pretty good off of Jack, but you know what a workhorse he was for us.
Just watch Jack Morris work. He is a war horse, that guy right there.
All right, here's what we had a lot of going on you know, from season to season. We got a 7-game losing streak going on here. Went on to 10, I believe. We couldn't make plays.
Hrbek cannot make the catch.
Who is that making an error right there? Oh, my God.
Well, look at that. Just little stuff like that was happening to us that caused a pretty good losing streak to go on for us. And
we just never really got off to good starts out of camp, it seemed like, and we had to pick it up in the second half of the season. Brian Harvey throwing a nasty sinker to end the game. TK not happy.
Not looking very happy for us. We went to Texas. They had a
14-game winning
streak, and this one I really don't remember that much, but we went.
I do, because I was playing in this game. Few and far between. You must have been sick.
As Larkin hits the ball high and deep to right, and to the wall, and to the stands, it's out of here. First home run of the year.
Here's one of our best pitchers of the year that year too. Scotty Erickson had a heck of a job for us and knocked this streak down by the Rangers.
Yeah, Superman always came to pitch every 5th day.
Hit hard to Gagne. And with plenty of time, they turn 2.
It goes back to showing how we played defensively that year was why we won ball games. We lost ball games when we couldn't catch it. We won it when
whoever we put out there, it seemed like it did the job defensively. You couldn't play for us if you couldn't catch the ball. TK wouldn't put you out on defense.
Tough play for Mack on the run. Makes the diving catch.
But there really was a whole bunch of different players that really helped out that season.
On the line, Munoz in position, Devereaux tagging, and here he comes, and the throw is there, and he is out at the plate.
There were actual heroes for us that weren't the Hrbeks, the Puckett's, and the Morrises and stuff. We had a bunch of different guys jump in there.
Breaking for the plate is Canseco. And Yankee is holding out. Harper with a tag.
And he drives one, Pagliarulo with a snag. And a great play to Rob Tarnable.
All these guys who came together in 1991.
Here's a guy that was a huge impact on our team and had a Rookie of the Year season for us.
You know how tough it is to come into the big leagues as a rookie and try to make a name for yourself. And Chuck obviously was the #1 pick years before that, and came to camp, worked real hard, earned the starting job. TK gave him the starting job at second base, played great defensively, and was our #2 hitter.
And Knobloch grounds it up the middle and through 2 people. He's hitting 20 straight.
Great job. Real big reason why we won it in '91.
Struck him out, and the Twins win.
The other guy to finish up the game for us was Rick Aguilera, who had 42 saves that season.
Just a very stoic guy. He wasn't a mean-looking guy out there. Just had great stuff, great fastball, great slider. Changed his speeds real well, threw a lot of strikes, and his demeanor on the mound I really enjoyed playing behind too. Nothing really affected him.
That's hit well. Kirby on the run. And he can't. Yes, he does.
And this guy really needs no explanation, I don't think. He's a guy that was a plug for all his teams.
And outside of you, Ken, he's definitely our team leader.
Oh, and Kirby hits it gone, way back into left field.
From an offensive perspective and a defensive perspective, and a guy in the clubhouse just like you were, you always could reach out to when things aren't going well. Very much team-oriented guy, even though he was one of our better players. He acted like he was one of the other 24 guys on the team, which was, from a guy, in my perspective, that's exactly what you want to look for in a leader.
This ball's well hit and caught. Puckett caught it in deep right center field.
Puck was a super guy. He had a lot of fun, and I think that's what carried on to the rest of the guys.
Yeah, certainly miss him. Your favorite, the Homer Hankies.
As you know, signing them is a tough deal. We love to see them in the crowd. It was the autographing part of them was tough, but they made a ton of
It's kind of fun though when you see full house crowd in the Metrodome and everybody's waving the Homer Hankies and in unison.
I spend a lot of time around the area. I don't care where you go. I don't care if you go to a gas station or a restaurant someplace. There's always a Homer Hanky sitting someplace, and you don't even have to be in Minnesota. So
20-year-old Hanky smells a little bit too. This is one of the highlights of your career, I know.
Yeah, this is what got me into TV.
It's not the home runs or the great plays at first. This is what it's all about right here.
This was something that was a little over our head. I guess they tried to copy the Chicago Bears.
They wanted some rhythm. They should have invited me, but obviously they didn't.
Right. Apparently you must have been sick that day, if they didn't show up. That was a polka I learned from my parents. All right, that's enough of that.
Can we move on to the baseball part of our...
This was kind of a special deal.
I think we were heading to the airport after we beat Toronto in a particular game. TK stood up there and had got notification that we were division champs and let us know. And obviously, great times. Good time to celebrate right now. TK with a cigar. There I am with my glasses.
Well, there's some beautiful glasses too. We all looked so good back then, didn't we? We pulled the buses over the side of the road and we got out so we could
buy some champagne.
The only thing that's missing is a little champagne.
Obviously, on the first day of spring training, everybody's goal in the big leagues is #1 to win your division, and to win the World Series. So when you hear that news for the first time, it's a joyous occasion. There's no question about it.
I always tell people that when you're together as a team and you play all summer long, you see the guys on the team more than you see your family.
No question.
And you become a family yourself, and we have a great time.
We always have great fans. I mean, even when we weren't playing well, they seemed to come out and support us.
What was in that bag you think I was carrying?
Our championship run. They met us at the airport, and TK had a little speech, and you and Pags brought out the champagne and sprayed the champagne on some of the reporters out in front.
This one here is for all of you.
Great time. Really good day for us.
Here comes the throw to the plate. It's going to be close. Elmore's out.
Here's some highlights I went through when we were playing against
Toronto.
We
had some great games there. Pags with a big home run.
Deep to right field. Going back is Ducey. It's gone.
I almost missed first base there, so he's watching his home run. Here's the final out.
Fly ball to left field. Dan Gladden is
going back on the track. He makes the catch. And the Minnesota Twins have gone from the cellar to the penthouse in the American League.
That's the fun part right there.
That right there never gets old to watch.
This is what you play for. It's what you put the uniform on to get to this big dance, and now we get to go.
And hi again, everybody. I'm Pat O'Brien. Welcome to Game 1 of the 88th World Series. And what we have here tonight are a pair of cabooses who have been magically transformed into locomotives. Almost nobody else thought they could, but the Braves and the Twins have chugged their way from the cellar to the series.
1991, a magical season for the Minnesota Twins. And what we're going to do is we're going to look at some highlights of the World Series, the 7-game series that featured the National League Atlanta Braves, the American League and Minnesota Twins. And I'm with two members of that championship season and championship team. The manager of the team was Tom Kelly, and one of the players on the team, left fielder Dan Gladden. All right, let's take a look at Game 1.
A decisive victory over Toronto in the League Championship Series left the Twins feeling loose and confident going into the World Series.
Stop secret stuff. Okay.
Hammer and Hank pose.
Welcome this man to the World Series. I think he's a great ball player.
Oh, jeez.
I really do. He's going to be Rookie of the Year this year.
Oh, big statement. Did you hit home run all too?
I had one.
Okay.
It was a big thrill. Maybe he can
show me how to do that. That's what I want to do. I know we'll turn double plays and make all the plays, but about a home run. Man.
You gotta eat breakfast in the morning.
It was important for Minnesota to be positive, for in this series showdown they were facing quite a challenge. Their National League opponent was a mirror image of the Twins, as Atlanta had also made a magical run through the '91 season, going from last place in 1990 to the Fall Classic 1 year later.
And John Smoltz has pitched Atlanta into the World Series.
Looking to write their own fairy tale ending, the Braves' confidence was bolstered by a young, talented, and formidable pitching staff.
Well, I remember being deathly afraid of the pitchers from the Braves. They were very, very talented in the starting rotation, obviously. Avery and Smoltz and Glavine. That's three powerful guys that were devastating type pitchers, and when they're on, they're really good.
The reliability factor was right up at the top. When those guys took the mound, Avery would pull his hat right down over his eyes like this. Smoltz would have that determined look in his eye, just like Glavine.
We went in feeling we matched up very well. You know, again, you talk about their pitching, but on our end, Jack Morris being the veteran leader, Scott Erickson had an unbelievable year, Kevin Tapani as well. So we felt like our starters would match up against theirs. And again, it came down to bullpens and situational hitting, and certainly the Metrodome had an effect as well.
The fact that the Twins had home field advantage was key, for they had fashioned both the best home record in the American League and the major's best home batting average. A dream home for the Twins, the Metrodome was a nightmare for their foes.
Is it tough to pick up the ball?
Very tough, Pat. If you take your eye off the ball, you won't be able to pick it up again. I think Hunter and Gant and Justice playing here for the first time, they are going to have some tough balls to have to catch out there.
The noise generated by Twins fans had nowhere to go, and the cacophony was relentless.
The raucous sound, continual sound at high pitch level on the part of the fans, and tribute to them for their great support of the Twins. But you couldn't hear it. Players couldn't communicate, so it was a real tough challenge.
The fans embraced their power and unleashed it at the start of Game 1, when their hometown heroes were introduced.
First, our manager, number 10, Tom Kelly.
Don't trip. Don't fall down. Those lines can come up and bite you if you're not careful.
Leading off in left field, number 32, Dan Gladden. Batting third in center field, number 34, Hrbek.
You had a good team.
That's right.
You know
when
that?
you have a
Boy,
good team,
you had some good players.
You stay out of the way and don't trip anybody.
Yeah.
I know that much. Believe me.
In the bullpen, warming up for our Twins, number 47, Jack Morris.
The St. Paul native was both a favorite son and a bulldog on the mound, armed with a fierce competitive spirit and a devastating split-finger fastball.
This Minnesota pitcher is 5-1 in postseason play, so he's used to the pressure that goes with it. Morris knocks it down. Good play.
The dominance Morris displayed with his first pitch never wavered through 7 strong innings as he took down the Braves hitters time and time again.
Got him again. Down and on to go the Braves. And Jack Morris continues to roll along. Double play ball maybe. Gagne, 2. Jack Morris, a strong performer.
Morris leaves. Pitching 7 innings. And a big hand. Morris waves his cap to the crowd in appreciation.
Meanwhile, the Twins' offense was looking to pounce. For with the big 3 of Glavine, Smoltz, and Avery needing to rest after the NLCS, Braves manager Bobby Cox started soft-tossing Charlie Leibrandt in the opener. Come the 3rd inning, Leibrandt allowed a 2-out walk to Dan Gladden, who promptly stole second.
Runner going. Too late.
And rookie sensation Chuck Knobloch made him pay going away.
The 1-2 pitch on the way is hit to the hole on the right side. Base hit to right field. Here comes Gladden. Justice throw cut off by Green. Down to Belliard. The run is in, and Knobloch is tailed out by Belliard. But the run is over.
2 innings later, Charlie found himself in trouble once again.
Fastball swung on, lined into right center field for a hit.
Leibrandt out of a stretch. Charlie delivers, line drive into left center, base hit. They will hold Hrbek at 3rd with nobody out. And the Minnesota Twins are in business.
And that set the stage for the Twins' unlikely slugger, number 9 hitter Greg Gagne.
There's some talk during the year that this fellow is very much underrated and unappreciated.
He'll surprise you, too, in the home run department. As a matter of fact, 3 postseason home runs for Greg Gagne. He had a terrific World Series against the Cardinals in '87.
Once I get up there, I said, well, I'll just try to hit the ball in the hole. Don't try to, be a hero or anything. Just try to hit the ball in between 1st and 2nd. And wasn't really thinking, I want the fastball and just the break and stuff, but I just reacted to the pitch that was in.
Pretty well hit. This ball is going to go.
Just about to round first base, and I see Scotty Leos. So I didn't really want to pass him up. So I just stopped and said, Twig, give me a high five. Let's go, man. I was just real excited.
A blizzard. The Homer Hankies are out and being waved.
Gags was there to be a defensive player first. And then, like we just saw there, all of a sudden Gags pops up and hits a 3-run homer. So all of a sudden, wow, that wasn't expected. He was expected to play some defense.
Gagne's 3-run blast gave Minnesota breathing room, and Kent Hrbek's 6th-inning homer put the cherry on top.
Hrbek sends one high and deep here. There it goes. Home run for Hrbek. Twins lead 5-1.
Hometown boy makes good.
With a 4-run lead, Rick Aguilera came on to record the final 4 outs.
5-2 Minnesota. 2-out, bases empty. Top of the 9th inning. Aguilera ready, and the 1-1 pitch on the way is lifted to left field. Gladden going back and over to his right. He's there. He's got it. The Minnesota Twins have won Game 1 of the 1991 World Series. The final score is Twins 5, Braves 2.
We got one out of the way, and hopefully tomorrow it'll be just as much fun, and we'll be closer to where we want to be.
There might be a little extra enthusiasm tonight as opposed to last night. This could conceivably be the last baseball game played in the Metrodome this year.
We move on to game 2. And this was kind of the start of the closeness of the games. And this one pitted Kevin Tapani, a 16-game winner, against Tom Glavine, who was the National League Cy Young Award winner. Let's take a look.
Game 2 is crucial now. Even though Minnesota dominated the opener, Atlanta knows full well what this means.
Should the Twins win tonight and take a 2-0 lead, well, the home team has gone in front 2-0. They've won the series 22 of 26 times.
And the Twins have taken the field, as you can tell from the faithful here in the Twin Cities.
The Braves knew there would be plenty of noise, but they were also still trying to come to grips with the architectural quirks of the dome itself.
The beautiful makers of that stadium decided to have a white roof with a white baseball plate inside.
It's really hard to believe until you get in there and experience that. You turn your back or you turn your head and it's gone. You can forget about it.
The inside cover of the dome was about the same color of baseball. Nobody knew where the baseball was.
This is the view on a ball that's hit up in that white roof.
And then, of course, the sound was so loud in this place.
In '91, I had to go out and get something called chainsaw earplugs to put in my ears, because by the 3rd or 4th inning, you'd be physically ill from the noise in the Metrodome.
And they were waving those white towels the whole time.
Waving the Homer Hankies.
For the Homer Hankies, it's a sea of white.
It looks like a snowstorm.
And those whiteout conditions sent the boys from the South into a first-inning skid.
We've completed a half inning of play here at the Metrodome as Tom Glavine takes the mound.
Dan Gladden will start it off.
Pumps it up. Lemke going out, struggling to find it. Here comes the right fielder.
Drop! Lemke and Justice ran together.
And here's the first mix-up in the Metrodome.
Crowds do have an effect.
That is David Justice's ball all the way.
Error charge to the right fielder.
With the Metrodome roof, you really can't take your eye off the ball, so being as loud as it was in there, both guys were yelling for it, neither one could hear each other.
The big fear for the Atlanta Braves would be to fall behind to Minnesota very early in the game, and especially here at the Metrodome.
Runners on first and second, and Kirby Puckett coming up.
Tommy Glavine is struggling here at the outset.
It then appeared as if the promise of a big inning for the Twins fell prey to one of those right time, right place moments for the Braves.
Runners are going. And a ground ball to Pendleton. Steps on third, bounces into first, 2 out.
We thought we were out of the inning. I said, golly, we picked him up.
We have a runner at second now. Now block 2 out, and Chili Davis at the plate.
But we forgot about Chili Davis.
Chili Davis launches one.
Home run for Chili Davis. 2-0 Twins.
You think you finally get a break, you get the double play, the error might not hurt you, and Chili Davis takes him deep.
My objective was to get the good part of the bat on it. I did so, and the ball happened to get in the air. 2-run homer.
So it is a nightmare for Atlanta, and they fall behind 2-0 as Chili Davis takes the curtain call.
By scoring early, Minnesota had every reason to be confident.
We got Kevin Tapani on the mound. It's going to be tough to beat him with a 2-0 lead.
But good fortune spun Atlanta's way in the second.
Bream hits one fair past third.
They'd eventually score on a sacrifice fly to chop Minnesota's lead in half. Then, with 2 out in the third, Ron Gant came to the plate with Lonnie Smith on first.
And this game featured perhaps one of the most controversial plays in the history of the World Series, which involved Ron Gant, Kent Hrbek, and umpire Drew Coble.
And a hit to left by Gant. And Lonnie's trying. They're going to get him perhaps. He's safe. And now Gant gets back to first, and he's out.
You never see the umpire call that guy out like that, but I thought he was actually right. Maybe I'm selfish, but...
Danny, you were a part of the play because you actually started the play.
Gant messed up. If he slides, he's safe. There is no play.
Danny's right.
The Braves have blown a big opportunity.
Now we got an issue.
And he is furious.
And And it's hard to argue when you caused the issue.
After 2.5 innings of play, Minnesota 2, Atlanta 1.
So with the score still 2-1, the game settled into an old-fashioned pitcher's duel.
There were a number of strikeouts by both pitchers.
Caught the corner. That's 11 in a row by Glavine. And a strikeout for Kevin Tapani.
Kevin was probably falls in the same group as Gagne with the getting attention. And here he is pitching Game 2 of a World Series and against Tom Glavine, one of the best pitchers we've ever seen.
And Tommy Glavine really mowing down the Twins 14 in a row now.
Atlanta would tie it with another sac fly in the 5th. And when it appeared they might take the lead in the 8th, Tom Kelly had to make a decision.
They have runners to the corners. Only one out, and Ron Gant, their big RBI man, up.
Kelly chose to stay with Tapani, who was closing in on the 100-pitch mark.
Pops it up, foul. And there is a play.
So would Tom now make the change with David Justice at the plate? He did have Steve Bedrosian and lefty Mark Guthrie ready.
Now, do you want a tiring Tapani to pitch to Justice with Guthrie in the pen?
Breaking ball lined up to left field.
What a chance the Braves had, and they let it get away. And we're still tied in the bottom of the 8th.
Tapani's great escape seemed to energize the fans.
Some pretty gutty pitching by Kevin Tapani.
All the fans were on their feet and screaming. You couldn't hear anything, and the players in the dugout, even you could see that look in their eyes that hey, we got a chance to beat this guy now.
We're still tied in the bottom of the 8th. And the batter is Scott Leyes.
Glavine has allowed just 1 hit since the 1st inning, and he goes for the windup in the first pitch to Scott Leyes, the high fly ball to left field. Way back, it is a home run. Scott Leyes with a home run. The kid who hit only 5 home runs all year, it's a go-ahead home run in the 8th, and Minnesota leads 3-2.
Threw it down the middle, didn't he? He didn't throw many down the middle there for 7 innings. I know that.
That's a home run trot, too, right there. See, he knew how to do it.
It was just another unsung type guy. And, of course, here it is, World Series. He pops it over the fence, and everybody's smart.
Yeah. His first home run in postseason. He'll remember it forever.
Now, to bring down the curtain on the Braves, the Twins looked to their closer.
Rick Aguilera coming on to try to save it for Kevin Tapani and the Twins.
55,143 on their feet, and the Twins are 1 strike away. The 1-2 pitch. Strike 3 call. The Twins beat the Braves 3-2.
Aguilera struck out the side.
The Twins have gone up 2 games to none over Atlanta.
Game 2 hero Scott Leyes and the Twins had every reason to be confident as they headed to Georgia for Game 3.
Great clutch hit by Scotty. Happy as heck for him. And let's go to Atlanta.
The Braves back to the home ballpark for the next 3 games if they're needed.
So now we go to Atlanta, and the Twins are leading the series 2 games to none, and the introduction of the players. And, of course, the Twins were introduced. We'll comment about Kent Hrbek running out as we watch the video of the introduction of the players in Atlanta.
Batting third at first base, number 14, Kent Hrbek.
They booed everybody. He loves it.
You think that was spontaneous?
I think he just rolled with it.
Yeah.
I think he just
that's
kept
how
it
Kenny
going.
is. He can ad-lib with the best of them. I'm sure he expected something, and then to be able to respond like that down the road, we're laughing about it.
It was good.
One of the things that was so apparent in that 1991 World Series, particularly here in Atlanta, was the energy in that stadium. People are going nuts.
Well, this entire crowd standing and into the tomahawk chop.
The fun part was going there and watching the tomahawk chop. Ted Turner and Jane Fonda sitting there front row. It was a good time going down there. Atlanta's a fun town.
And Gladden wasted little time showing just how much fun he could have in Atlanta when he faced Steve Avery to lead off the first.
Gladden hits it into right center, and Gant's on the move. The ball gets between them. That ball should have been caught.
The ball rolls to the 385 side, and Gladden will end up on third base.
Here's Chuck Knobloch. And this will put Minnesota on top.
Gladden coming to the plate, and the Minnesota Twins are on the scoreboard immediately.
The Braves would tie the score in the second and then turn to the long ball against Minnesota starter Scott Erickson.
The pitch to Justice is lined to right field and deep.
Way back, it is gone. Home run.
And Atlanta leads 2-1.
Here's Lonnie Smith. There's a slow breaking ball in the high drive to left field. Way back, Gladden to the wall. It is a home run.
There's another run for Atlanta.
3-1 Braves.
Atlanta extended that lead in the fifth and felt confident that they had Game 3 all but wrapped up.
When we got the 4-1 lead, I felt like for sure it was our ball game, because so many times this year, once we get a lead like that, it's ball game. We're gonna win.
But these Twins were resilient and cut into the Braves' lead in the seventh.
Twins trail 4-1. Kirby Puckett, the leadoff batter, and the 1-0 delivery. Here's a drive to deep left, way back. It is gone. A home run for Kirby Puckett,
and that makes it 4-2 as Puckett gets his first hit of this World Series.
Then in the eighth, Minnesota put a runner on first with nobody out. That was it for Avery, as the Braves called on Alejandro Pena to douse the Twins' flickering flame.
Burn him, Jalapeno, burn him! Come on!
But it was Pena who got burned by pinch hitter Chili Davis.
When you're on the road and you have a packed house and you have people cheering against you, it just puts a little more determination in you to quiet them down. The thrill is to quiet them down.
Into left field, Mitchell back. How far is this going? We are tied on a pinch home run by Chili Davis.
To come back against an Avery and Pena, two very, very outstanding pitchers. That was a feat in itself, but the bottom line is still all game. And so I was still thinking ahead of what the next move would be.
Those moves continued deep into the night, where with the score still tied in the 12th and the Twins' bench all but empty, Kelly was forced to use a pitcher as a pinch hitter.
You try not to get into that spot, and I was playing to win and was forced to have Aggie hit.
And the Twins are going to use Rick Aguilera coming up here with the bases loaded and 2 out in the top of the 12th inning.
He looks like a hitter.
Yeah. Get it
Dual
there.
batting gloves. Doesn't have a double ear flap helmet.
Yeah, it was ugly. Everything about it was lousy. Oh, God.
Aguilera hits it into center field for Kent. We're still tied.
I was really in trouble now. Really in that spot.
Just after midnight, and with 1 out in the 12th, Justice rang in the new day as the potential winning run.
Swinging a line drive and a base hit to right. Justice is on.
Seventh pitcher of the night for the Twins is out on the hill. Runner going. Ball 1 and a stolen base, and the winning run set in scoring position.
Following a walk and with 2 outs, Mark Lemke looked to end the seemingly endless game.
Lemke hits it into left field.
Here comes Justice.
There'll be a play.
Save! And Atlanta wins it.
And the Braves win their first World Series game ever.
For Game 4 of the series, the Twins turned to Game 1 winner, 36-year-old Jack Morris. who spent the previous 14 seasons pitching for Detroit. His opponent was 24-year-old Michigan native John Smoltz, who may have dreamed of one day pitching like Morris, but probably never thought he'd face him.
John Smoltz had grown up in Detroit and watched Jack Morris be a star pitcher for the Detroit Tigers and idolized him. And here he is matched up against one of his heroes of his baseball life.
I wasn't caught up with that. I was pitching against Jack Morris. I was pitching against the Minnesota Twins and living a dream. All those childhood memories and dreams went through my head, knowing that I had been waiting for a long time to do this, and it was going to be challenging but fun, and I didn't look at it any other way.
The Twins took a 1-0 lead in the second, and for Smoltz to escape further damage, he'd have to face Morris. John's father knew just how his son must have felt.
This has got to be a thrill, man. Face your hero.
Number 47, pitcher, Jack Morris.
Come on, Johnny, get Jack right away. This is great. Get that Detroit Tiger, babe. Come on. This is it, Johnny, baby. Come on now. Yeah! Way to go, baby! All right, let's get that run back. Come on, Braves.
Terry Pendleton was the National League most valuable player in '91, and in the third inning, he showed one of the reasons why.
Pendleton swings, hits it very high.
Carries out into right center.
Oh, a home run for Terry Pendleton. The game is tied at
1. With the game still tied in the seventh, Twins third baseman Mike Pagliarulo came up against Smoltz, who had allowed just 6 hits to this point.
Strike him out, son. Strike him out. Strike him out, Johnny. Right here. Pull the trigger on it. Pull the trigger on it.
Here's Mike Pagliarulo. Here's a drive to deep right field. Way back. Way back. It is gone. A home run for Mike Pagliarulo. Touch 'em all, Mike Pagliarulo, and the Twins lead 2-1.
In Game 4, gone into their ballpark, into their home stadium. We were competing very well, and we were in a position to win. So I think it was a situation where we felt like we certainly could win there.
Number 27, Lonnie Smith.
But with 2 outs in the bottom of the seventh, Smith, who'd hit just 7 home runs all season, took on Twins reliever Carl Willis.
Here's Lonnie hitting one up top.
Way back. It's a tie game, folks. Lonnie Smith in the first pitch. Way back and over the center field fence. His second World Series home run, and it's a tie at 2.
The Twins had lost their edge, and in the bottom of the ninth, Atlanta capped off its night with a rally that brought the crowd to its feet.
Mark Lemke at third base, Jeff Blauser at first base, and only 1 out. Long fly ball, the game is over. See how shallow the outfielders are? Jerry Willard is the pinch hitter.
He's had only 14 at-bats this year.
Swung on a high fly ball to deep right field, and back goes Shane Mack, who will make the catch. And here comes Lemke to the plate. Here comes a throw. The Braves win 3-2.
They were tied 2 games apiece. Ryan Harper can't believe it.
Very controversial ending to the game where the winning run came with Lemke's hook slide. Actually, they kind of went to the rule book. You remember that, TK?
I know we lost.
I think the rule was that he didn't tag him with his glove, that he tagged him with his shoulder.
You must make the tag with the ball. He never made contact with the runner with the glove.
Come out and argue that, though,
No,
right?
you know, and we were sitting there and you see it, and we know we didn't tag him.
And there's celebration on the field. It's
They're
tough to
jumping
go
up
out.
and down like you're going to stop this.
Minnesota 1-2 at the Metrodome. The Braves have 1-2 here at Atlanta Fulton County Stadium. And now it's time for Game 5.
The last 3 games had all been decided by 1 run, but the 5th one took a decidedly different path.
The Braves are trying to break this one open in the 4th inning.
4-0 Atlanta.
And they are dancing in Georgia.
And another run for Atlanta.
So the route is on. It is 10-3 Atlanta.
The Braves have busted loose here.
It was the night the lights went out in Georgia for the visiting Twins, an aberration in the midst of so many heart-thumping games. And now the Braves were 1 win away from the title.
These Atlanta fans celebrate as they win 14-5.
We intended to sweep. That's what we came here to do, and that's what we did.
Played hard. We came from behind and won ball games. So our confidence was up. We felt really good leaving here that we had a chance to become world champions.
But the Twins, too, were feeling confident, for they had been here once before.
I'll never forget the guys who had been on that 1987 club. They were all very loose. This is just like 87. This is how it played out, and we're going back, and we're going to win, too. There was not a lot of stress or anxiety about the situation we were in. I think it's very comforting for those of us who were going through it the first time.
Game 5 was the blowout game, 14-5. Was there a mindset at that time?
That's what everybody was asking me. What's your mindset? Guys have played hard.
Harper bowled over by Lonnie Smith.
Close plays.
Knobloch to third, in safely.
We tried hard.
Oh, what a play.
I said, I'm just concerned about getting the guys on the airplane and getting the card game going. That's all I was worried about. What do you want me to do?
Well, we're not worried because we have the best fans in the world, and they're going to rally behind the Twins, and we're going to beat them tonight. And then we got Kirby Puckett and Kent Hrbek. And Kent, he's awesome. So no, we're not worried at all.
So the Twins are back home, and they're ready for Game 6. And now we're really going to get exciting because 2 games that are more than storybook, because I don't think anybody could have written the script for those 2.
Game 6 was Kirby's. That was his game.
Right.
From beginning to end. It's all about puck.
Yeah.
Kirby's 167 average thus far in the series did not foreshadow a breakout game, but somehow he knew.
He came in before the game and he said, jump on my shoulders, boys. I got us tonight.
Boys, jump on my back. I'm driving the bus.
Hey, jump aboard, guys, because we're going to win this World Series.
I remember I hitting BP that day, and I was swinging the bat exceptionally well. I was hitting line drives, doing exactly what I said I was going to do, and came in the clubhouse, and I called in a meeting. I said, guys, don't worry about it today. You guys jump on my back. I'm going to carry you today.
I think it gave us a tremendous amount of energy because we knew he had our backs.
Fueled by Kirby's confidence, the fact that the home team had won every game in this series, and their booming fans, the Twins looked to follow the very path they took in 1987.
St. Louis leads in the World Series 3 games to 2. No team in the history of the World Series has won all the home games. The Guyani, for the first time ever, the Minnesota Twins are the world champions.
Very shortly, you will watch those Homer hankies, and you will hear the noise that goes with it.
Puckett didn't wait long to live up to his pregame prophecy as he made an immediate statement in the bottom of the first.
The batter is Kirby Puckett. That's fair. He's going to score. Puckett for third.
But Kirby wasn't on third very long, thanks to Shane Mack.
There's a hit. 2-0 Minnesota.
Up 2-0, the Twins reached even higher.
And into the glove of Elias.
The Braves had a man on in the top of the third when Kirby completed phase 2 of his pregame premonition.
He courts it to left center and chased by Puckett. He caught it.
That's the only ball puck caught in left center field. All his other highlights are in right center field where he's jumping over the bag.
Now you're getting silly.
Leaps in the air and makes the catch.
That fence is 13 feet high.
Guy just jumps up and catches the ball. It's just unbelievable.
Atlanta has to start wondering, wait a minute, maybe this isn't our night.
Kirby's catch lifted the Metrodome to an eardrum-shattering level as 55,000 fans delighted in their raucous noise. But there was still more game to be played. Still more time for Kirby to carry his team all the way to a 7th and deciding game. Thanks in great part to Kirby's heroics thus far in Game 6, the Twins held a 2-run lead. But the Braves changed all that in the top of the 5th.
Puckett chases it to the track. It might go. We're tied. Pendleton's second home run of the series ties it in the 5th.
But while Atlanta fans momentarily rejoiced, they still had to deal with Puckett.
Kirby Puckett waits to bat next.
And with Gladden on third and 1 out, Kirby would strike for the 3rd time in this game.
That'll get him home.
He tripled in a run in the 1st inning and now drives in his 2nd with a sacrifice fly to deep center.
Kirby did the job.
But this wasn't one of the all-time great World Series for nothing, and the Braves fought back.
Lemke down at 2nd. Lonnie Smith at 1st. 1 out. 1-run lead for the Twins in the 7th, and Pendleton, who's had 2 hits, is up. And it's up to Knobloch. Bases loaded. And an infield hit for Pendleton, his 3rd of the night, loads the bases for the big Atlanta hitter, Ron Gant. World Series might be on the line right here. To deep short. Tying run scores.
With the score tied once again, every pitch was pain or pleasure.
Maybe a double play. Got one. Got them both. And that ends the inning. Well, it doesn't get any tighter than this. 3-3 into the bottom of the 8th inning. Into left. Hunter sends us into the 9th inning. Still tied 3 apiece. Blauser gets him and sends us into the 11th inning.
And in the bottom of that frame, Braves manager Bobby Cox elected to turn to a starting pitcher.
Here's the new pitcher for Atlanta, Charlie Leibrandt. One of the big guys for the Twins, leads it off in the 11th.
I was leading off, and I told Chili Davis, I said, I'm going to get on bunt here. Charlie's a good pitcher. I said, but I can bunt on him.
And Puck and I are on deck. He comes up to me and he says, you know, I don't hit these guys that well, man. This guy throws these change-ups and curve balls. I'll lay down a bunt, get on first. You give me 1 pitch, I'll steal 2nd. You drive the ball to right center field, I'll score. And I said, this is Kirby Puckett. We're in Minnesota. The opportunity to be the hero, and he is the hero. So I went over to him and I said, Puck, I got a better game plan.
Chili said, bunt. He said, bump my, you know what? He said, get up there, get a good change up, hang change up, and hit it out. Let's go home. And I said, okay, I'll do that.
So it's been Kirby's night. He's had a big one. And this crowd really senses now that they have a chance to get even.
And I took the first one.
Leibrandt pops a strike in there.
Took the second one.
1-1.
Took the third one.
2 balls and a strike.
And the 4th one, he hung it a little bit.
Into deep left center for Mitchell. And we'll see you tomorrow night.
I told the guys, I said, jump on, guys. I'm going to carry us today. I guess they jumped on and I delivered.
I'll never forget right here. This was pretty awesome, and our backs were against the wall, and if we didn't win today, you know, we'd had to go home today, and It's going to be a Game 7 tomorrow.
With a clutch leaping catch, a total of 3 runs batted in, and of course the game-winning home run, Game 6 of this series has become an enduring symbol of Kirby Puckett's Hall of Fame career. And in more than a century's worth of World Series games, it is considered one of the all-time great performances in the Fall Classic.
It was the Kirby Puckett show. He single-handedly did what he had to do to get the Minnesota Twins the opportunity to get to a Game 7.
He got us to Game 7 and led us the whole way during the year. Doesn't get much better than the Puckett.
It's a storybook World Series. What's going to happen tomorrow in Game 7, Chapter 7? Oh my God, I can't wait. It's going to be something. Can you imagine this going on like this? Unbelievable.
You know what I remember about Game 7 is it started in Game 6 after Puckett's home run. Yeah. Just going up into the clubhouse, the celebration that we had, and then just seeing Jack Morris, knowing that he was going to start that Game 7 and the calmness that he had, he started to put his game face on that night. It gave me an ease knowing that there's our starting pitcher for Game 7. This is a piece of cake.
Folks, we've been wrong. We kept saying this series can't get any better, and it got better and better and better. And now here we are with this game to mark the end of a glorious baseball season.
So now the Twins and the Braves are going to be locking horns in Game 7. What's to come here? I mean, we've had these one-run games. We've had these extra inning games. Can we top what happened in Game 6, what's happened in Atlanta, what happened in the first 2 games?
I don't see how you can. Yeah. I remember the big theme that day was the emotionally drained teams, fans, everybody.
I would agree with that. I think a lot of players were, but you show up the next day at the ballpark, you start the pregame, the crowd starts coming in.
How are you doing tonight? Great. We're going to win, aren't we?
I think so.
Oh, definitely.
The frenzy starts all over again. And it energizes you and it charges you up. And again, Game 7, no different, I think, for Tom Kelly as me as a player. Boy, how is this going to turn out?
In this deciding game, the Braves would turn to their 24-year-old righty, and Smoltz felt as if he had been here before.
That walk to the bullpen, it was a special walk. All those childhood memories and dreams went through my head, and knowing that I had been waiting for a long time to do this, and it was going to be challenging and it was going to be fun, and I didn't look at it any other way.
And for the second time in the series, Smoltz would be facing his boyhood idol in the veteran Jack Morris.
All my life, I had dreamed about that day. I had played it in my mind. So I kind of was prepared for it. I guess I really never visualized the pressure that it was there. I didn't realize it. I just didn't think about it. When I went out to the bullpen to warm up, it was the first time in my whole career I got a standing ovation just walking out to the bullpen. And I had, shivers go up my back, and my hair kind of stood up, and I totally realized then that this is a special moment.
Perfect pitching matchup. Can you believe this? John Smoltz and Jack Morris. Minnesota signed him to pitch big games like this.
There was, in fact, no bigger game, and the pitchers set the tone.
Down in order go the Braves.
We knew it was going to be tough. We walked in there with Jack Morris, and it was just as we thought. It was tough.
John Reddy, and the pitch to Puckett got him swinging. Then after 3 full innings of play, it's Minnesota nothing, Atlanta nothing.
We're playing for the ultimate goal of every player, and these guys are shutting everybody down.
Jack Morris delivers, Justice swings and misses, down he goes.
It was just a fantastic battle.
I get a feeling that there aren't going to be very many runs, that's for sure. High pop fly into shallow right. Lemke is waiting and makes the catch for the out.
It couldn't be any more even. No score after 4.
It was just remarkable to just sit there and watch them inning after inning just go out there and put up zeros.
After 5 full innings of play, Atlanta nothing, Minnesota nothing.
To Morris's great credit, he buckled down when the circumstances demanded it.
Lemke at third, Smith at first.
The 3-2 pitch is strike 3 ball.
And Smoltz kept us in the game. That was the best pitching duel I've ever seen.
Double play, and After 6 full innings, it's still Minnesota nothing, Atlanta nothing.
I can honestly say that I never had the focus in any game I ever pitched in my entire life that I did in Game 7.
Here's the line by Jack Morris and a pitch. Swing and a miss. Jack Morris has now retired 8 batters in a row.
And John Schmaltz is matching me pitch for pitch, and I mean, that's the kind of series it was. It was just fabulous for both sides.
Hit down to Pendleton at third, and the throw to first in time.
We're going into the 8th inning. Isn't this something? No score.
It was just inning after inning, 0 after 0 after 0. And nothing was happening, nothing except building of tension.
A magnificent performance between Jack Morris and John Smoltz, and the tension really starting to build now.
And I remember going up to the clubhouse. Something had to change. I went up to the clubhouse, and I decided to watch it from there.
Smoltz was willing to try anything. After all, it seemed as if the first team to score would win the World Series.
Smith, a check swing flare into right field for a base hit.
And the Braves appeared to have the edge. For once Smith led off the 8th with that hit, Atlanta had the heart of their order coming up.
Pendleton into left center field.
As a runner, you lose sight of the ball for just an instant.
That's going to go to the wall.
Chuck Knobloch was the second baseman for the Twins. He made a decoy move.
Knobloch and Gagne pull a fake phantom double play. Lonnie Smith, he stops, he freezes, he doesn't know where anything is.
Lonnie Smith, for some reason, stopped at second, and now he can only go to third.
I'm clapping my hand. I look at the scoreboard. Hey, it's not changing. Where's there? I look at third, and hey, what's Lonnie doing standing over there? I had no idea that he had not scored.
He could have walked home on that.
Still, there was nobody out, and the Braves were confident they could bring Lonnie in.
When we had second and third, nobody out, I'll never forget walking out of that clubhouse because I said, I want to watch the score because I know the game's over as soon as we score.
But Jack Morris had other ideas.
Even in that situation, I had confidence. I knew that good things were going to happen.
So now we get to the crucial play. Morris is pitching in the 8th inning, and we're going to look at the video, and then we'll have some comments.
There was second and third, nobody out. Gant was the hitter, and you elected to pitch him.
Little roller, and they'll get an out without a run scored.
That set up the Justice walk.
I thought it was the right thing to walk Justice and then go for the double play.
So now
bases loaded.
Bases loaded, 1 out.
Boy, is he focused?
Oh, man. He's got it under control.
Yeah.
Oh, that's split fingers. Nasty.
And the play is to home.
That's the best throw Harp ever made, right? But we practiced that play in spring training. And so you don't practice much during the summer, those kind of things, but you practice it in spring training and you work at it and you hope it kicks in when the time comes, and sure enough, my goodness gracious, how could you ever think that would happen?
Yeah. After 7.5 innings, it's still Atlanta nothing, Minnesota nothing.
At that moment, I realized I got myself out of a mess, and that might be the last mess I'm in.
No score, bottom of the 8th. What a game, what a series, what a finish.
In the bottom of the 8th, the Twins sought to get the run that eluded the Braves.
Runner going, base hit. First and third, 1 out.
It had been a gallant effort by Smoltz, but with the Twins just 90 feet from taking the lead, his night was through.
John Smoltz was terrific tonight, but is knocked out here in the 8th inning in favor of Mike Stanton.
With Smoltz out of the game, it was now time for Morris to watch and hope that his Twins would score that precious run.
It's going to be Hrbek up there with the bases loaded because they are indeed walking Kirby Puckett.
We have the bases loaded. Hey, this is going to be it. We're going to get the hit, 2 runs.
So the bases are loaded for Kent Hrbek.
And a line drive and a double play sends us into the 9th inning scoreless.
Can you believe it? No. We are are going to the 9th inning of what has become an extremely dramatic ball game for everybody involved.
After all this time and all these games, the 91 season had come down to 1 run, still yet to be scored.
Hasn't this been magnificent?
Young John Smoltz had waged a valiant battle on the mound for the Braves, but now all he could do was watch Morris, who continued to dominate.
A chopper over the mound. Right there is Newman to throw him out.
And he appeared to be getting stronger with each pitch.
Swung on and missed. And the big horse has run his race. Jack Morris goes 9 and shuts down Atlanta.
In the bottom of the 9th, Minnesota fans had every reason to believe that 1 run would be theirs.
First and second, nobody out in the 9th.
And a ground ball to Larkin. They get 1 and a double play. The runner ends up at third with 2 out.
Cox then walked the next batter intentionally to put runners on the corner. He elected to take his chances with Paul Sorrento.
Everybody that played in that game had a chance to be a hero. At some point during the game,
Got him swinging, and would you believe, a World Series record. We are heading for our 3rd extra inning game. Thank goodness. This one is just too good to end.
The question now was who would take the mound for the Twins, or was it a question at all?
After the 9th inning, in the dugout, TK came up to me. He said, "You did everything we can ask. You know, you did 9 innings, and you know, just a fantastic job." And I looked at him and said, "I'm not going nowhere." And I meant it, and he knew I meant it.
Jack Morris has been magnificent, and he's still out there in the 10th inning.
That's the definition of a workhorse. The guy that gets the job done, the guy that carries the load, the Hall of Fame type guy. And that was Jack Morris on that night.
1 down in the 10th inning.
He just kept pitching and pitching and pitching.
Morris ready, and Jack's 2-2 pitch. Swung on and missed.
I wanted to take him out, and he's getting stronger as the game got longer. It's unbelievable.
Hit slowly down to shortstop. Leas, who just got in the game, throws him out. We're going to the bottom of the 10th inning. No score in the Metrodome.
This is one of the most remarkable baseball games ever played.
I was leading it off, had to do something. It got in on me a little bit, broke my bat.
Broken bat, fly ball's going to drop.
The Twins players played that brand of baseball, so as soon as you leave the batter's box, you're thinking 2 until he stops you. And I just took a gamble, and it paid off.
He's trying. Save!
That ball got in on you more than just a little bit. I mean, it was way down in here.
It was a butt, you know what?
But it was a beautiful thing.
I broke that bat. We went out and celebrated afterwards over at somebody's house, 6:30 in the morning. Somebody goes, "Where's the bat?" And I says, get in the car. We drove to the Metrodome at 6:30 in the morning, went down there, fished it out of the garbage can in the dugout, brought it back to my house. It's on my mantle right now.
A broken bat leg double by Dan Gladden.
And then, of course, you know, the bunt from Knobloch.
Knobloch shows bunt. Good bunt. Kendallin has to make the play. So the winning run, the World Championship title, and the cherished World Series ring, all of it 90 feet away.
And then Bobby Cox elected to walk Kirby Puckett, and then they elected to walk Kent Hrbek.
Up came Gene Larkin to pinch hit in a situation that every player in baseball first envisioned as a 7-year-old in his own backyard.
Let's talk about this play a little bit. Pretty big moment in your life, of course, Gino, with and you've got that bat.
What I tell people, Ken, this is why I love the game of baseball, because a guy like myself, who was an average to below average major league player, was put in a position to win a world championship for a particular team and help 24 other guys reach a goal. Going nuts, and it was, you know, obviously the greatest moment in my athletic life, no question.
And a great end to a season that was so fun.
I've been covering sports at that time about close to 40 years or more, and all the major events, and this was as good as anything. The whole series, it was spine-tingling.
A magnificent game, a magnificent series. What an experience it has been for all of us.
Hometown hero Jack Morris, who was a rock in Game 7, was named the series MVP.
And that was one of the great pitching performances in World Series history. Maybe even better than Larson's perfect game.
And an absolute peak of a magnificent career for Jack Morris.
For me personally, I don't know how it can get any better. To play in your hometown, to have the kind of year that I was able to have and ultimately win it all, it was a dream come true for me.
And now many of the Twins and the Braves exchanging hugs and handshakes, and that's as nice a scene as I have ever seen on a ball field.
And I swear, a lot of us thought we should cut the thing right down the middle and give each team half because there's so much respect, I think, for both sides. I mean, that's the kind of series it was.
Jack, you can't throw no better. The next day, I woke up, and my first thought that went in my head was, who's pitching tonight? I swear. I said, who's pitching?
Oh, my.
That's how disoriented I was.
Yeah.
And you don't think this stuff gets you, this baseball.
Yeah.
They lie. That wore you down.
Let me present this trophy, which is, of course, symbolic of your having achieved the World Series victory. It was, I think, probably the greatest World Series ever. I was proud to be here, and I think all the fans who were here appreciate the effort you made and the great effort of the Braves. Two superb teams.
Okay, so now we get to the parade, the celebration through the downtowns of St. Paul and Minneapolis.
I remember just running over the people's toes and feet. These people were just so crowded in there.
The mass of people, over 1 million people in the two downtowns of the Twin Cities. And then the White House visit and President Bush, Carl Pohlad, the owner of the Twins, presents a Twins jersey to the president.
You know what I remember about this is that I went to a concert the night before, didn't make it up to get on the flight, and I did not make it to the White House.
Stop it, you were not there.
I was not there.
Oh my gosh.
And the wife was a little upset because by the time we woke up, we were watching it on TV.
That's nice.
Yeah.
See, nobody even missed you.
The 1991 Minnesota Twins, a team that helped deepen America's love affair with baseball. It is absolutely wonderful what this ball club did for sports and for the spirit in our country.
The Minnesota Twins did go from worst to first in 1991, and they did so by winning perhaps the greatest World Series of all time.
Thank you. That was a very enjoyable time to reminisce and to enjoy the memories of 1991 World Series. As we said, still in the annals of baseball history, the most classic World Series ever played in a fall classic. And these two gentlemen were certainly very much a part of it.
Officially, we were lucky to be part of it.
Yes.
It was, neither team deserved to lose
that
World Series, in my opinion. And I think if you could split the trophy, we probably maybe should have.
Yeah.
It was so much fun.